And happy January 7th, 2023. Let me know in the comments whether you can hear me or not. Good morning, Mylan. Good morning, CH. Everybody let me know, please, if you can hear me before we get too far down the path. I want to thank everybody for being with me here this morning. Oh, yeah, you can see I added a box of envelopes right there. Got a few things to talk about, but I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Hey, Learn Blue Iris, Joe Torelli in the house. Alonzo Smith, good morning. Can everybody hear me? Just let me know real quick. So, volume is a little low. Well, let me see what I can do about that. All right, how is the volume now? Is the volume better? Low volume. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. How's that? Is that better? Is that even better? I'm just trying not to. I'm trying not to max out. Low, yes. Low, Mao, okay. Everybody's saying better, better, better. Oh, you know what? Oh well, that's turned up all the way. Interesting. So, I moved to Linux, and I'm still trying to. Let me see if I can turn this other one up. Okay, how is that? I'm just trying not to get distorted. Let me know how that is. I also guess I should make sure that this is actually using, it's using the Rode Procaster instead of the. So let's see. All right, so might need a little more. That's okay. So I'm glad I moved the time a little bit, and it looks like people are still saying they've got low volume, but I don't know how much of that's left over. I'll spike it just a little bit more, but I don't want to get blown out, right? All right, so over to the comments real quick like. Good morning, everyone. Holy cow. After Dark, Jeremy, Stefan, Ryan, Kim, Aston, Michael, Alonzo, Cody. If I missed anybody, Prav, Bob Carpenter is in the house. Michael says I have the same problem with my Blue Yeti and Ubuntu Linux, so I might have to check that out. Somebody said that in the last video that I did, which was filmed in OBS, that the volume was a little low too. And so, is the audio back? So that's what you got to like about this channel, right? Like sometimes we test in production, and there was actually a comment on the DisplayCast video that said well, this is how to not do it. But you know what? If I can't show you the problems that I'm having and not everything goes smoothly. Anybody who is a professional that's watching this video, anybody who's a content creator can tell you that stuff does not always go smoothly. So what else am I working on? So I've got, I was pretty outrigged for Windows, right? I was using my Canon M50, which now I'm trying to get to work with Pop! OS as a webcam. So right now I fell back to the Logitech. If that doesn't work, I might buy an Elgato face cam or webcam or the Logitech face cam or whatever to get a better image than this. But my Stream Deck also doesn't work natively. Now there are a couple apps out there, and I can get the one to work, but I can't get it to work within OBS. Right? So I've been kind of working on that, but we're getting busier and busier and busier every day. And so sometimes that stuff gets put on the back burner. So I ordered a bunch of stuff and it came in, and I'm pretty excited. This is a new MikroTik switch that I'm going to be doing a video on. I paid for all this myself. Got an access point down here and a couple of SIP devices, and James can't wait for me to get the videos done on these SIP devices. I'm not going to show you what they are, but just know that the video is coming here in the next week or so. And then, of course, I've got to get a video out for all the awesome updates in the 6300 firmware. What else did we do? So when I was filming a video last week, I was like, you know what? it's gonna be so easy. Oh yeah, Ryan. Speaking of rack mount, yeah, this little rack right here is gonna go away. I've got a full size lab rack that's gonna go in here, but I'm gonna run Switch OS on that. But so this Edge Router X is now running OpenWRT, and what an adventure that was. So I've never done it on the Edge Router. I've done other OpenWRT devices, ones where you just upload the firmware and it goes. But of course, the Edge Router has to be a little different, and you've got to load a kernel version first, and then you can run the full install. So I accidentally put the Edge Router X SFP software on here, and I forced it to work. And it works. So now I've got to figure out how to get Edge OS back on here and then do just the X, because I want to do it right when I do the video. And there's going to be 5 minutes at the beginning of that video explaining how I effed this up. But I'm learning from it, right? So you can load all kinds of modules on this JH. So I'm excited to get to do this video, but it has definitely been a learning curve. So JH was asking, Ryan, am I selling this rack? I actually bought this rack from your boss, but I'll sell it back to you. I think I paid $85 for it if you want it. This freestanding rack, email me and I'll let you know when I've got it swapped out. But I think 5 racks in the house is a little, I think my wife is understanding, but starting to not be understanding. So we'll figure that out. Ryan, if you're interested, I also have I have a half height enclosed rack with fans. It's a Great Lakes model. And got that up for sale too. That's about $1,000 unit. And I've got, I think I only want 300 for that. Yeah. OpenWRT on the Edge Router. Very interesting. Very much a learning curve. So somebody asked, am I going to run Switch OS or Router OS on this? So this is a Cloud Switch series. So I think by default, this boots Switch OS. Now I got the non-PoE version because I just want it for the software. But you can see, I think this was like $185 or something like that. Wasn't real expensive. But I need more I need more switches, period, right? My goal is to have 2 racks, 2 full-size racks that are full every U. Well, not every U, because you got to have power distribution and stuff like that. But I want every U that is filled to have a different manufacturer switch in it. That's my goal. Ryan says, thinking of buying a house, so it would help my expensive hobby too. Yeah. Brian, on the Great Lakes, I think it's 32 inches deep. I'd have to go back out and look. All right. So what is everybody else up to this morning? Ask your questions, put them down there. I'm going to see if I can open a new tab here. I was asked, so I have the image, the image that we're going to leak for the new net tool, but I was asked to not share it yet. I wish I could, but yeah, so that's hooked up to my GrandStream ATA, which is hooked up to my phone system. And you could all call in and try to guess the extension to get that phone to ring, but I'm not just going to tell you, because that thing is loud as hell. And I actually had to start putting my phones into night mode because of the audience that we reach. My phone rings past advertised hours, which is midnight, 12:30. So I have people calling at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And I try to get 4 to 5 hours at least of sleep every night. But Brian, can you shoot me an email so I don't forget to do that? I'll do that on my way out. Morning, Justin. Jason says, I'm playing with my new GrandStream firewall with Tony. Yeah, the new GrandStream firewall, I've got it right over here, video coming on that, but the one I'm really excited about is the GWN 7002. Go out, I posted some stuff out there, and their new router is going to have like content filtering, and it's going to have all the things. And if you go to gwn.cloud, you can get a picture of that. In fact, let me, I got to make sure that I don't hit R, because R, oh, I am recording. No, I'm not recording. I'm live. I've got my hotkeys set up so I can switch back and forth, but let me see. Let me see. If I can find the GrandStream FCC filings. Let's see here. Let me see what happens if I hit the R. Does it start recording while I'm... Oh, it does. So we're broadcasting and we're recording. This is why I got to get my... this is why I've got to get my... stuff figured out here. I got to stop recording. Okay, we're no longer recording. We're just live streaming. And I am going to switch over to screen 2. Now you should be able to, I'm just going to, all right, so that worked. Okay, so the GWN 7002, here is the GrandStream FCC filing for this back on December 7th. So we can look at the test setup photos. We can look at the external photos. There's a confidentiality cover letter, which you see a lot of companies use that. Here is the user manual, so you can see what this looks like. I am very excited for the GWN 7002, GWN 7003. So this is probably the 2 right here. This is probably the 3. But if you read in the overview, the GWN 7002, 7003 is a powerful enterprise-grade multi-WAN firewall router, including 2 SFP ports and multiple gigabit RJ45 ports that provide a comprehensive VPN solution in one and multiple scenarios. As a high-performance and dynamic firewall product, it includes DPI, in-depth security detection, and content security, including URL filtering, DNS filtering, web content filtering, safe search, application identification, traffic statistics, and other comprehensive attack protection, which can effectively ensure the continuous and stable operation of enterprise core applications and services. So they are taking it to the next level. Now, I did reach out to my folks at GrandStream, and I asked when this is going to be available. And he did not have any date as to when this box is actually going to be available. Let's switch back over here, and you can see here's the external photos. This has got to be the GWN 7002, I think, because it's the smaller. Let's see if we can zoom in on this. So that one's the GWN 7002. So it's a nifty looking box. Yeah, there's the 2 SFPs, the 4 gigabits. You can power it via PoE. So yeah, the FCC filings are pretty thorough, and they, most companies pay companies that this is what they do. So it looks like the GWN 7002 is going to be here before the GWN 7003, because I don't see a 7003 unless I also don't know all the intricacies of how FCC filings work, right? So, all right, let's go back over to the comments real quick. Rashid says people are probably calling due to different time zones. Yep, that's 100% why they're calling. And I have a message on there that says if you need assistance right away, go to our website, fill out our contact form, because, I don't always monitor that. If I've got, if I'm done working on Friday and I don't have anything until Sunday, I may not come back to that. So I always ask people to go fill out that contact form. JH says Aruba. Michael says the Comware switches were EOL. Pro curves are EOL. JH says HPE data center stuff, not the Pro curve stuff. Jason says you need a Stream Deck. Jason, I have a Stream Deck, but it's not Linux native, so I'm trying to get it to work. The application that works with Pop OS, uses WebSockets for OBS, and I tried for an hour the other night to get the WebSocket stuff to work, and I was just failing all over the place. But I'll get it eventually. Just got to craft the perfect Google search, right? Let's see. Ryan's asking, Learn Blue Iris, did you have a look at those Wise cams yet? So there is a Wise cam firmware, and Joe probably knows this, for the older cameras that allows RTSP. I think it was version 2, but the latest version, or maybe that's version 1, but the latest cameras, I don't know if they support that yet. Michael says, I'm going to look into a different brand instead of going to CX at work. JH says, I work on just about every brand. What are you needing? I can tell you the best I've used in the budget range. That's a list, JH, that you and I should start and put out there publicly. Dale Vout says, good morning, sir. Was in Kentucky for meetings all week and got the chance to sample Old Forester Birthday Bourbon 2022. It was nice. Dale. So I tried to get a bottle of that. I was at a bourbon raffle. My number came up. The Old Forester Birthday Bourbon was gone already, so I grabbed a Castle and Key, which is not bad. Let's see. Jade says, how you liking Pop OS? I normally use Mint as little instances on my hypervisor. So I think if I'd have used Mint, all the drivers for everything would already be loaded. I might test that, but I'm so far into the configuration on Pop OS, I don't know if I want to mess with it. So I might just put Mint on a USB key and boot to the USB key, leave all my hardware hooked up, and see what works and what doesn't out of the gate. I got to tell you, I was super surprised when I plugged in the Procaster, the Rodecaster, and it was recognized automatically as an audio device. That blew me away on Pop OS. My GrandStream handset for my Wave soft phone, which, by the way, I just used my Wave soft phone in a web browser, and it detected that and worked fine. So I'm really kind of surprised that my Canon EOS M50 doesn't work and that the Stream Deck doesn't just work. So we'll see what happens when I load Mint. Yeah, so what I like to do when I run Linux is I like to run everything native. By the way, I'm going to get my Linux Plus here in the next couple months. I bought the book, starting the study, so you're probably going to see either shorts that are, things that I need to commit to memory, like partitioning. All the newest distributions have made a lot of us really lazy when it comes to creating file system partitions and layouts, and I always use the auto partition. And so I did really poorly when I took the Linux Plus exam a few years ago. I did really poorly on that part because I was like, it'll be all right. Yeah, it wasn't all right. So, let's see. Oh yeah, Sophos is on my list. I'm not a real huge fan. The Sophos routers had a lot of bugs a few years ago, and we were trying to deploy them, and it was causing issues. But I did register for the Sophos version. I'm going to throw it on. I got a Protectly right over there in the box. I'm going to throw it on, so you'll see that. As soon as I can get my HDMI capture. That's another thing that's not working. Pop OS doesn't even recognize the Elgato. Now, I've got the very first version of the Elgato HD60 that came out, so it's not the S or the X. It's like the HD60, and it doesn't work. So we'll have to see what happens. Jason says, message Tom, he's using a Stream Deck. I got mine working easily. Weird. Jason, what OS are you on? I thought you were a Mac guy. But there's crossover Office. So like there's Wine, right? Which is Wine isn't an Windows emulator, whatever Wine stands for. Allows you to run Windows applications. It's not an emulator. It actually uses like parts of the Windows subsystem to run Windows applications on Linux. And I'm sure there's a billion videos out there, but I like Crossover Office. Crossover Office is an app you can install, and it automatically handles all the heavy lifting when it comes to running Windows apps on Linux. So I might try that, but I don't know that it'll work. JH says, look at AdTran or full stack Fortinet. If somebody sent me a Forti switch, we'd throw it in and see how it works. But that's not something I don't think that I'm going to buy. TN Bighorn says, good morning, Willie. Been a while since I've been here. Oh, hey, I hope everything is okay. If you need anything, reach out. I'm sorry to hear about your wife's passing, and we'll definitely be sending some positive vibes your way. Jason says, digging the beard, bud. I'm glad you're digging the beard, because every time I do a video now, people are like, I'm unsubscribing because you have a beard. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's a weird reason to unsubscribe. I think you were looking for a reason, but yeah, that is what it is. Bob, I'm not going to use the pancaked Protectly. Let me set these. Yeah, you're a business owner in the United States. You know what time it is. But yeah, so here is the pancaked Protectly. And you can see on the bottom, I signed it, because I was going to give it away. So I signed it. I was going to do a giveaway with it. And I'm like, you know what? It might not be such a good idea to give away a device that you ran over. So I'm going to hang on to this one. I'm going to give another one away. I'm going to do some sort of a video with this. Also, Joe brought up that my thumbnails are looking better. So believe it or not, Joe, I actually started using Canva, and I'm using the free version of Canva. And tonight, after I have some bourbon, I'm going to get my wife to take some pictures of me doing like these things that you see everybody do. So I'm going to try to make them not too cheesy. But everybody that joined the live stream joined today because I used that stock photo of that woman pointing at the edge router, which if you're here and you want to know what the edge router was all about, that was the thumbnail that I was working on to release the video where I put OpenWRT on this edge router, which turned into a mess. And this is actually running OpenWRT for Edge Router X SFP, which I need to remedy before I do the video because it's not right. However, I forced it to work, and because the hardware is so similar, I did not brick this. So I feel like I landed, like I fell off the cliff, and I grabbed a tree limb, and I'm hanging there, and it's that wrong firmware is my tree limb to get me back up to the top. So we'll figure that out. So, all right, back over to the comments real quick. Bob says it's a beard made for radio. It looks fine. Yeah. Samuel, hi from Switzerland. Hi from the United States. Jason says people that object to beards are just jealous that they can't grow them. Yeah, there's there's a saying that says people without beards are just people with beards without beards. Start saying that after you've had a drink or two. Prav says, another question. What is your captive portal preference between Unify versus Grandstream for a public event? So that is something that I need to do a video on. And I'll probably do, so this year we're getting deep into the education services, paid education. And so I'll probably do a light version of the Grandstream. The Grandstream stuff, in my opinion, is very, very powerful, probably more powerful than the Unify stuff, just because the way the builder works, the options that are in there. So if I'm running it on site, I would prefer, or even at GWNet Cloud, I would probably, I don't know, it's a toss-up because the Ubiquity one's pretty decent, but all right. I mean, I could go either way on those. The thing I like about the Grandstream one is it's got a built-in thing for advertisements, right? So let's say that I'm a shopping mall or I'm some sort of place that has their own events, right? I can force you to advertisements. I can tell it to automatically roll the advertisements and do all kinds of stuff. So that's a cool little section of the Grandstream captive portal. Ryan says, give it to me. Don't even have to. Yeah, but the problem is if I give you this router and then you burn your house down with it, then I'm going to be in trouble, right? So I would rather, because that's, manufacturer's defect, I'm not on the hook. But I ran over this, right? So I'd be willful and wanton if I gave you that damaged device and then your house caught on fire. And I'd feel super bad. Super bad if you got this and then your house burned down. So no, I will not give this to you, Ryan. But it is an awesome device. Yeah, 98 concurrent viewers. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Everybody's here because of the lady pointing at the edge router. We did talk about that. People have been here since the top of the stream are tired of hearing me talk about the edge router with OpenWRT and how it was a rabbit hole, but that video is coming. All right, so back over to the comments real quick. GrandStream Cloud is so fast and updates insanely fast too. Yeah, GrandStream Cloud is fast, and they did release the on-prem, so the GWN Manager to run in your own. They now release it as an OVF, so you can just load it into your hypervisor, or you can download it, and it now has feature concurrency with GWN.cloud. So. Is anyone doing IP version 6 dual homing? Probably JH is doing some of that. I've only got a few customers with IP version 6, but I'm starting to see more and more of it. And I want to work about 15 more years and retire. Maybe in that last 5 years, it's really going to take over. We'll see, but I don't do tons of it. JH says, if I have a guest portal, I always outsource it and put it on the marketing budget because they want all the info from it. That's usually where those are at. So also, if you go to our website, you will see a captive portal. So Tim actually has a service where he will create your captive portal outside, and you can point your Unify controller to it. He's working on the GrandStream version. So Roar says, thoughts about what to expose through Cloudflare tunnels and what not to expose. So everybody's hopping on this Cloudflare tunnels. First Network Chuck did it, then Tom did a video on it. And I know that it's out there, so I haven't done a ton with it yet. I started because everybody is hopping on that bandwagon, so I started looking at it. So that's a conversation I'll have to have later once I'm more comfortable with it. I don't have a good answer for you right now because Cloudflare is really good if I want to stick the internet in front of a device so that I don't have people touching it directly. That's what we use Cloudflare for right now, is that web application firewall and proxy. So Mac Store says, are Ruckus access points any better than Ubiquiti? Well, it depends what you're looking for, right? So Ruckus has a feature set that Ubiquiti does not. Ruckus has that auto VPN where it creates the VPN back to the controller. They've got all kinds of really high-end features that Ubiquiti doesn't have. So it depends what you're looking for. For a lot of installations, Ubiquiti is going to work just fine. GrandStream, we always go with that for voice. So it just depends on what you're looking for. So JH says 75% of my networks can't be on IP version 6. So, hey, Jeremy is saying, everybody give the stream a like. Yes, make sure you subscribe too if you like this content. So I've got some other stuff coming. People really didn't enjoy the Ryobi stuff. I think they come here for the networking and the technology. But for me, the Ryobi stuff falls into technology. Like, here's the new screw gun that I've got that I'm super excited about. Probably more excited than I should be. But, if I did a video on this, I mean, people like that video lost me subscribers, which was weird, right? Joe Trelli. But it was so weird. The last Ryobi video that I did, I lost like six subscribers. So that was strange. But I'm going to mount the TV back here. I'm going to move Willie Howe technology up to the top up here, and I'm gonna might have to move the phone or put the TV over there, but I am going to mount the TV with the display cast. I keep wanting to call it a Connect cast because that's what it used to be called. But so JH says 30 APs or less with 2 SSIDs. I use Unify, or like if I like it more than Aruba, Cisco, or Ruckus. Yeah, so I was just talking to somebody yesterday who they're a municipality and they don't have Wi-Fi at their city hall, and I guess finance is pushing to get Wi-Fi at city hall, and so they've got some compliance and things, and he was talking about using Meraki. And I said, well, Meraki is not, I mean, they're owned by Cisco, but Meraki doesn't work the same way that Cisco does. When you throw a WLC in, which is a wireless LAN controller, it creates GRE tunnels between your Cisco access points and the controller, and it acts as a traffic cop. And I used to have my my CCNA wireless, and I used to deploy WLC boxes all over the place, and they check every compliance and security box that there is, but they're expensive, and you've got to keep up with them. But hey, Paul. Hey, Patrick. Any recommendations for business VoIP with fixed phone? Yeah, I would use GrandStream for that. You can reach out and let me know. But Ron, yes, I believe they have. I believe GWN.cloud has what you're looking for. So look at this. The most viewers we've had on the channel. I think we hit 103 at one time. The most we've had with only 45 likes. Hit that thumbs up. If you need to reach out, head on over to williehowe.com. That link is down in the description. I've got to head out. I want to thank you all for joining me on this Saturday morning. Be awesome. Be happy. Reach out if you need us. And as always, I'll see